state will give undocumented immigrants $40 million in COVID-19 relief. That announcement coming just days after Seattle City Council voted to defund its police department. Seattle radio host Jason Rantz says it's ironic that leaders aren't stepping up for the American citizens. And as you can see, he joins me now live. Jason, thanks for being here. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Tell me what you think about this.
Well, it's interesting. Look, no one wants to be heartless. We have illegal immigrants in the state of Washington. We are a sanctuary state, which has drawn a lot of illegal immigrants to the state to work. And they're going through the same sort of hardships that a lot of other people are going through due to the coronavirus. But it's important to note that there are still tens of thousands of Washington residents who have still not received unemployment checks from the state of Washington and the Employment Services Department. There are still literally people since March who have not received a check. In fact, some of them haven't even received an email or a phone call from the department. And so as we're having this announcement of a $40 million fund, you have the governor, Jay Inslee, former failed presidential candidate, who still isn't even really addressing this issue. In fact, they're claiming that they figured it out, that the backlog of all those unemployment benefits has been cleared, when people are still coming forward and saying, no, it hasn't. We're still waiting for our checks, or we got a check and then it was paused and then we stopped getting checks. And people are getting really, really desperate. They're at the point where they're ready to sell their personal items just so they can actually pay their rent on time. So I just think it's really poor optics at this point.
Well, here's a breakdown of the funds, the relief fund plan. This will be $3,000 per household, $1,000 per person. You know, I wonder how they're going to disperse this. I mean, this is happening. You have California and Oregon also developing relief funds for their undocumented residents. You wonder, you know, what other states or cities are going to adopt plans like this.
Yeah, so in the state of Washington, what they're planning on doing is going through some kind of nonprofit organization to distribute the funds, which is problematic when we're talking about $40 million. But how exactly do you deem someone eligible? It's not like you can walk up and show your card that suggests you're in the country illegally. And so the question then becomes, how do you ensure the money is going to the right people? What's to stop someone like me to just walk in and say, I'm in this country illegally, please give me the $1,000 that I'm owed? It seems like it's set up to not necessarily be accountable, again, at a time where we really haven't given any money out. Now, there is a little bit of sense of irony because we've been in the middle of a scandal where we've given out about $600 million to scammers in Nigeria. We got hit with a scam just a few months ago that paid out $600 million to overseas accounts and accounts outside of Washington. And that was a big part of the reason why we're in the jam that we're in. So I hope people understand the irony, at least here in Washington, about this.
We want to, before we let you go, since you're in Seattle, you know, Seattle has voted to defund the police department. This is up to 100 officers removing $3 million from the police department's $409 million budget, reduce the wages of about a dozen police department commanders' salary and overtime cap. You know, this is devastating for a lot of citizens out there who rely on the police.
It is. And we just lost our police chief. I mean, welcome to Seattle, where Black Lives Matter means our Black female police chief in a profession that is dominated by white men was run out of town by this council. So not only do we lose our police chief, who was very well loved by the community, but now we're losing 100 officers. And the way that the system works is that the first officers hired are the first ones to go. Well, the last year and a half has been focused on recruiting officers of color. And so, again, irony, because the officers that we're going to lose are officers of color. And so, again, being pushed by Black Lives Matter and activists in the community means we're losing Black police officers. And so I'm just asking, who exactly are we serving? We're seeing a surge in violence in the Seattle area right now. We're seeing a surge in crime. We're getting rid of the navigation team, which is the specialized group of cops who are going in and connecting with people out on the streets who are homeless. So priorities, right?
Well, and you're seeing the images there you were of the chief, Carmen Best, who decided to resign, not because she said it didn't have anything to do with her not being able to handle the job and the criticism and everything happening. She said it's for a lack of respect that the police officers are getting right now. Jason Rantz, as always, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.